Hey, so there's all kinds of stuff on this channel and out there on social media that you're hearing all the time. But there's one thing that you don't really hear all that much. And I think that you need to hear this from me. So stay tuned and you're going to hear what it is. Hi, I'm Rebecca Zung. I am a narcissist negotiation expert. I teach you how to shift the dynamic and slay narcissists. I am an attorney. I am an author. I teach a lot on this channel about how to become more powerful and become the best version of yourself, become the most powerful person in the room. I teach you about languaging. I teach you about shifting that dynamic so that you are confident and setting yourself up so that no one and nothing can ever infringe on that. And I think that's really, really important. And I think your mindset is really, really important. And I really do believe that at least 50% of winning a negotiation is your mindset, if not 80, 90, even 100% of winning a negotiation is your mindset, for sure, for sure. And I teach all that right here on this channel, by the way. And so if you want to learn more all about that, make sure you hit subscribe and you hit that notification bell. But there's one thing that I think that people don't talk about enough. You hear a lot on social media. There's all kinds of memes out there. I mean, all you have to do is scroll on your Instagram, scroll on your Facebook, scroll on YouTube about powerful mindset and becoming the best version of yourself and no more feeling of pain, and that somehow there's this magical place and somehow there's these people that have attained this. And you see these people who have like these incredible bodies and they've overcome all this stuff. You know, even me, I've talked about my story. I've talked about how I've overcome bullying, how I went back to law school. I have, these 3 children. You can check it out in my video. I don't normally share this if you would like to learn more about my backstory, and which is all true. But what people don't really talk about all that much is that you think that these people, they have these like 6-pack abs or these incredible stories. They've achieved financial success or they've achieved these mindsets. They've become the Bob Proctors. They become the whoever's of the world. So, the Gary Zukaufs and, amazing people. But what they don't always tell you is that what I erroneously believed is that once that you did all this reading, you did all this stuff, you did all the whatever it is, the Tony Robbins, the Joe Dispenza, the whatever it is that works for you, the Deepak Chopra, the Bible, Buddha, whatever it is that works for you. I erroneously thought that I would achieve this magical place. And once I got to this magical place, that I would be bulletproof. I would achieve this place, that I would grow up, that I would get to this, become this person, and there would be no more feeling of insecurity, no more feeling of imposter syndrome, no more feeling of hurt when something would happen, or, somebody looks at you the wrong way or whatever. But that doesn't really necessarily happen in exactly that way. I mean, you can do a lot of the work. And what I have found, at least for me, and I can only speak for myself, and, if you look at my history and my resume and the things that I've achieved, and you look at my life, you could say, wow, she's done all these things and she's overcome all this stuff. But, at the end of the day, I'm still a human being. And I want you to know, and this is why I say I think you need to hear this from me, because you don't get to this place of panacea. I think what happens is you get to a place where you get better at monitoring yourself. You get better at having tools. You get better at recognizing patterns. You get better at realizing that a thought is just beams of energy that float around in your brain, that it's not necessarily real. It's just, it's not like you can just reach out and pull it out and go, oh, here it is. I mean, it's just a little thing. It's like an energy wave that went around in your thought, in your head. And what happens is you think it so many times. Sometimes you think it's real, and sometimes you think it so many times that you attract that into your life. And so you start believing it's real, but you don't realize that it actually started here first. It didn't show up and then it's real. It actually starts here first, because like attracts like. So it's just something that you just kept thinking. And so, it's sort of like when you start noticing, when you buy a new car and you start noticing all that car starts showing up everywhere you go, right? Or you have a yellow shirt and suddenly you notice all the yellow shirts. I mean, thoughts are just energy. They're not real. So, if you have a thought like I'm not good enough or whatever, it's like, it's just a thought. It's not real. It's just something that's there, and you can actually look at it and you can just let it float by. But remember that energy does attract more of that. So if you don't want it, you have to realize it and just recognize it. And so I think for me, I've gotten better at going, oh, there's that. I don't want more of that. So let me figure out a way to control it. Let me figure out a way to not continue to have that. Let me figure out a way to pivot from there. I often joke that my thoughts should definitely not go unsupervised, that they should not be left alone by themselves. It's not always necessarily true, but sometimes I do recognize that I have ebbs and flows, that sometimes I'm vibrationally really good and I'm feeling really good, really feeling energetically great, and I'm attracting all the right people into my space. And then sometimes I'm feeling like low. And if I'm feeling low, that's when you're ripe for not so great things. And that's when you're ripe for narcissists to come floating in, or things, to not go necessarily the way you wanted them to. So you do want to monitor what's going on, and you can get better at having the tools. You can get better at recognizing it. You can get better at meditating. And meditating, by the way, this is one thing that I've learned about meditation, is that it's almost like training a wild horse. Like you don't sit down and like immediately think that you're going to have no thoughts. That's like so not realistic, because your brain is on. That's what it's meant to do. It's meant to think. And so if you sit down and you realize you're having a thought and you go, okay, there's a thought, fine, back at it. Just, focus on your breath. Thought goes by, let it go. Sort of like a wild horse, bring it back. It's almost like a wild horse that's on a rope, just bring it back in. Okay, back to breath. And eventually you're training your brain. You're training your brain. And that's what you're ending up doing. And so do you get to this panacea where you are 100% at Zen and nothing ever bothers you and you never get angry? No, that doesn't happen. But you can get to a place, and I've talked before about the 3 C's. I didn't cause it, I can't control it, I can't cure it. So you start to like recognize, okay, what are things that I can't cause, I can't control, I can't cure. Letting go of that is really helpful. And if you're so ready to let go, give me a I'm ready to let go in the comments below. You do learn to recognize it. And Gary Zukav, by the way, talked about that in when I interviewed him. And he said, when I feel that anger coming on, I notice it. I know what it feels like. I recognize that in myself. And I know, I see the signs. I know how to handle it. I've learned what to do to control it in a certain way. And so you don't stop being a human being. You just learn how to name it, claim it, have a tool in your toolbox to handle it, and and be able to use your tools so that it's productive for you, and so that you can ultimately keep yourself at that higher vibrational level so that you can attract more of what it is that you want. So that's what I think it is that you need to hear from me today. And, when you're going to negotiate, it's really, really important to maintain that control over your emotions. When I go talk about negotiating like you matter, the E is keeping control of your emotions. And I talk about that in my SLAY methodology as well. And you can grab my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet if you'd like at winmynegotiation.com. And you can join my free private Facebook group if you'd like as well, which has, lots of support going on in there. Lots of people who are supporting each other at Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. I invite you to come there as well. And if you like this video, give it a like, give it a share. Drop me that comment. Let me know that you're letting go. If you'd like more information and you want to be more persuasive and more powerful and more confident, feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can subscribe to this channel. And thank you so much for stopping by. I'm Rebecca Zung, and remember, today is a great day to start negotiating your best life. And I will see you in the next video.